I'm here with Stephen Howson. We're outside Old Trafford. 2-2. We're freezing. Look at that. You can see my hot breath. And it doesn't feel better after that, does it?
Nah, we was going into this week, weren't we, where we could have got 0 points, could have got 9 points. I thought 9 was always going to be unlikely. But it was an offer. It was an offer.
4 points drop now against 2 newly promoted sides from winning positions in a week.
Yeah, and you could make a very strong case that there's several players, maybe not as much at Sheffield United, but there's several players that would walk into our team, certainly that Villa midfield. You'd probably
McGinn and Grealish all day.
Yeah, you could see the tangible impact that they would have in this United team. I know this is going to turn into an Ollie in, Ollie out debate, but like, can I just say to people, please have some nuance and intelligence to your arguments.
Because we obviously, in the preview to this game, you obviously gave an impassioned defence of Ollie. I think it was more to the situation of the club than the manager specific. But you did. Has that changed? Should it change after one game?
No, I saw people at 1-0 was going, oh, are you Ollie out now? Like, no. Like, when I saw that 11, I knew he was in trouble. We said it all week. If Ollie had a prime Paul Scholes and Michael Carrick alongside him, or he had Rooney up front and he had leaders all the way throughout the pitch, look at the team that Moyes failed with. And I'll look at the team that Ollie's playing with. Can you honestly expect the same results?
Even compared to last season, it's not the same team.
No, it's not the same team, and we've lost PEREIRA, we've lost Sanchez, and we've lost Lukaku. Most people will tell you like at least 2 out of them 3 were failures, but those guys were still experienced football players that could do stuff.
Some would argue Chris Wilder with Sheffield United, Dean Smith with Aston Villa, with lesser players in most positions. Okay, that's fair. They're playing better football. Villa today were knocking the ball around our midfield. Fantastically.
How long's Dean Smith been there?
Chris Wilder the same. Dean Smith 2 years.
Right, and Wilder's been there more. Are either of them under the same sort of pressure and scrutiny that Ollie is?
No, but that is a question. Is he getting enough out of the team?
Probably not.
Should he be playing, persisting with PEREIRA when we all know he's a trier, he's trying hard, he's not showing the quality he's ever showed at 23 level. No. Why are we persisting with him there?
Who else, right? And I know people will go, just play Ghana. But I saw people criticising the result on Thursday night when he just played Ghana and he just played Levitt and he just tried to give some of these guys minutes. Now, Levitt was 19th man today. Promotion on the back of a good performance. But it does take time still. And I'm frustrated that PEREIRA's still playing. And I won't just totally turn a blind eye to what Ollie's doing. If there's things that deserve criticism, that's one of them. But there's not a lot of things that deserve criticism that he's doing. The substitutions last week against Sheffield United, I thought they made sense, and I thought they had a good impact on the game. Today, only Jesse's probably made an impact on the game. I thought Shaw was all right when he came on, but it wasn't a substitution that you need to make when we're just absolutely non-existent in midfield. So, unless he just doesn't have the belief, and he might be right, that James Garner's not just going to start playing it through the lines, that he's not ready, that Dylan Levitt's not ready yet. Because these are 18-year-old lads. These aren't £50 million signings. Yeah, I mean, and Ollie knows what our fan base is like. The comment section of this video alone is going to tell you, like, Andreas PEREIRA, I'm going to call him shit. But these people will be like, he just needs to fucking die. And you're like,
well, is it? We clearly saw a player that was trying today. Like there wasn't people come out, and I think it's thrown around a lot. They're not trying, they're not fighting for their shirt. I think they're very easy excuses when you drop points. And I think ultimately he's not good enough. Yeah. And I think we're seeing that he is trying to press people, he is trying to close down, he's getting in people's faces, he's making challenges, he's trying to play through balls. They're not coming off because frankly he hasn't stepped up to the level.
No, he's just not a world-class midfielder, and we've got a world-class midfielder who's injured at the moment, and let's just leave it at that.
Scott McTominay, yeah?
And obviously we've got Pogba as well. So I find it mad, like, you're standing in the Stretford end at half-time today, people are like, oh, we so badly need Scott back, don't we? And you're like, what? That has just changed so badly in 12 months.
Well, fans like myself 12 months ago was saying, championship player at best, let's be real. And I think it's partly how bad we are in midfield, but also how much he's improved, that he is now a focal point of that. And without him, we are ruined. we heard it boos towards the end, not a lot, probably about 100, 200 people, but there were boos. Who do you think they were directed at? Obviously, you weren't booing, so you can't say for sure, but who do you think they were directed at?
I wasn't booing. That was a presumption.
It was?
I wasn't booing. I don't know. I can't speak for other people, so I won't.
But who do you think? You got feeling?
I hope it's Woodward, the board, and people like that. And look, you have to be patient. Like I said, this Liverpool team came fourth with 99% of the component parts all in one place. Klopp came 8th, I believe, in his first season. Shit takes time. Look at Pep Guardiola, right? Pep Guardiola, people have been walking on fucking air for the guy. Like, the greatest manager, this, that, but look what he's won, right? Well, look how it's fucking crumbling for him at the moment when he's lost a couple of defenders. We've got no midfield at all. Well, like, Fred is a backup midfielder at best.
Backup dancer.
And he looks decent, really.
So, what would your message be then to the board or fans that are overreacting tonight?
Look, it took the greatest of all time 7 years. Right, and don't.
But football has changed.
No, football hasn't changed. It's still seven. It's still 11 aside on grass for 90 minutes. Right.
I think we only had 7 at it.
Felt like 7 aside. Right. United spent massive amounts of dough. Go and read some of the articles. Go and watch some of them news reports. What they were saying about Fergie. Oh, he's done it in Scotland. He can't do it here. The parallels are shocking. It took a long time for him to break that drinking culture. He needs to break the fucking
drug culture that our players have.
Moany slapped ass culture that our players have got. Do you know what though? It still could be worse.
Do you think we used to laugh at Arsenal because we used to laugh?
Still going to laugh at Arsenal.
No, we are. But
they substituted Guendouzi for a guy called Saka, and he just stood there with his hands on his hips, just looking at him.
But we used to laugh at Arsenal for the fact that we felt that their players were never held accountable. They could lose games, and it was too nice. They could get away with things under Arsene Wenger. Do you think we're in danger of becoming that here?
I don't know. I still got to find.
Where no one's held accountable.
Well, I think people are being held accountable. I think you are seeing people that haven't performed, Luke Shaw being potentially one of them. Or you're seeing at least rewarding good performances, like Brandon Williams forced his way into first team contention. It looks like Levitt's forced his way into first team contention. But without a strong core of leaders in a team, then it's not going to do anything. You have to have genuine leaders in a football team, and then you can bring in youngsters. We are basically just throwing these youngsters in and going, oh, let's hope for the best. Mason Greenwood, go and get us a goal, son. No pressure, lad. Like, Brandon Williams, oh yeah, you're up against the Premier League opposition today in your like 9th game or something like that. Don't have a bad game though, because fans are going to crucify you. Like, you're throwing in all of these youngsters. Even Wan-Bissaka in an ideal world, yes, we paid £50 million for him, or whatever we paid for him. Like, he probably should have had a bit more of an opportunity to bed in a little bit, maybe a bit of a mentor. Who's our fucking senior fullback? Luke Shaw?
Ashley Young.
He's not a fullback though, is he?
You're going to have a meltdown if I say that. Lucky, I'll come to Jay next. Cheers, Steve. Hang on. Anything to add at the end?
I've got Sean Goater coming on my podcast after the
feed the goat. I used to be nicknamed Sean Goater.
Did you know he was a United Academy player?
Yes, I remember that. 87, I think.
That's because you're well old.
Lucky, before we go to Jay, what did you make of that today?
The only player who had determination to score and to attack was Harry Maguire. No one else showed anything. That's why we pay the big bucks. Everyone criticises us, but he's worth every single cent.
A lot of people thought he played badly today, so you thought he was our best player.
I thought he got in there, he got everything, he got the challenges, and that's what we bought him to do, and that's why. I think if Paul Pogba was playing today, a lot of people would disagree with me, but if Paul Pogba was playing today, we would have lost.
We would have lost?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's
I thought you were going one way and then you went the other.
He's one.
Led me down a dark alley.
His one-sided mentality, and it's all about himself. I don't think would have suited today.
We wouldn't have had created more chances for Martial and Rashford with Paul Pogba on the pitch.
No, Scott McTominay would have made more chances, but I just don't think. I can't criticise him because he's injured, but I just don't think Paul Pogba would have excelled today.
Now, I know you enough to say this to you, Lucky. Isn't it balmy that you're not the only one? We've drawn, we've come out, spoke about a player that hasn't played for months. That would actually improve our midfield. Is that crazy?
Yeah.
Or am I just thinking it's crazy?
No, it's right. Everyone says play the youth, and I say I agree with him. Play the youth, give him some time, give him some exposure. I was there in Kazakhstan, minus 20 degrees, freezing my ass off, watching everyone play the youth, but then we lose and they all get criticised. So they can't be right. Ole knows that. and the fans are just going to turn them either way.
Is that why you think he never went with a Garner or a Levitt today?
Garner, I reckon he should have, but Levitt, keep on the bench for that.
Do you think Ollie's getting all he should? And I'll ask you this as well, Jay. Do you think Ollie's getting the most out of what he's got? Because we know this midfield isn't good enough, but is he getting the most out of it?
I think he's not getting the most out of it, but there is ways which he can improve, and I'm not sure how to, but he can improve in that midfield.
What do you think? Do you think he's getting the best out of this team?
I think to be honest with you, there's not much more you can do. I mean, you're relying on people like Macca, who I thought did okay today, but he's what, 31, 32? His legs are almost gone. Andres PEREIRA...
Almost?
Well, yeah, you can argue his legs have gone. Andres PEREIRA isn't good enough. I know we've been sitting on the fence, or we've been waiting to see, and he's had lots of opportunities, and has he been used in the right way, what's his best position, and all these sorts of arguments. But you saw it today, the quality's just not there. I mean, there's a case to be made that Fred maybe shown enough signs. There's a player there. We know McTominay and Pogba obviously not playing, but PEREIRA, I just don't see it, and I'm sick of waiting for it, to be honest with you. And some of his decision making, it's non-existent. And it's like, we were looking at it when he took that team out to Kazakhstan, that complete U team. Can you imagine if he took the first team out? Imagine how bad. But
it looked like they looked like they had a hangover from Europe.
That's what I mean.
It was mental. We've got Ollie goes up against Mourinho and Pep this week. It's a tough week. If we lose both them games, does he survive it?
I'm worried for him, mate. I am really worried for Ollie. And personally, me and you spoke about this many times. I would back him. I would give him till the end of the season, at least. But this board, and you look at it and you think today wasn't great. Drawing at home to Villa, his record this season isn't great. We've had so many disappointing results. I don't need to go into the losses at Bournemouth and at Newcastle, all the rest of it. Even the draw at Sheffield United was a negative, really. And then you look at, Jose, our ex-manager, comes here. And it's not just if Spurs win. If Spurs win convincingly, which I'm a little bit worried, the likes of Harry Kane and Son against this defence, which has looked ropey, and then you go into the derby, mate, those are the sorts of results that can cost you your job.
We've conceded 5 goals in 2 games against newly promoted teams.
Exactly, and now we're going to face one of the best strikers in the league, and then we're going to go up against one of the best attacking forward lineups in the league within the space of a week. Doesn't bode well. I would always give Ollie to the summer, but in answer to your question, if he loses both of them games, I think he's in real trouble, and I'd be worried for him.
Cheers, man.
Nice one,
Jay.